Time to talk about some drunk dwarfing. What up, viewers? What up? What up? Calc Soups here, and welcome to the Friend Zone, a monthly video game show where I talk about the latest games with my friends. January was pretty slow for new releases, so we decided to jump into the PS Plus game for the month, Deep Rock Galactic. It's a game we've played before, but we finally got us all onto the same console. We'll talk about that in a little bit, but as always, we'll start with what we were expecting going in and how we would describe it. Then we'll talk about the gameplay loop, and there's a traditional kind of initial missions that you kind of play through. We'll talk about the characters and the key aspects of like how you traverse through the game, our favorite characters, and maybe a little bit about how some characters can be mismatched for the mission. We'll talk about the weapons, the aesthetics, the enemies. We'll talk about being split over multiple platforms and my desire for kind of an account type system. We'll talk about endgame and deep dives, speculate on some future comments, and then finally give like our final opinions and a recommendation in the final thoughts section. But without further ado, let's jump to the friends of the Friend Zone. Welcome to Brian.
Hi, I'm Brian. All driller, no filler.
Nice. We got
it.
Yeah, nailed it. Wow. First take. We got Kevin.
I'm Kevin, and I'm podcasting or whatever this is for Rock and Stone. You know.
Yes, that's true. Get back to work. And we got Patrick.
Hey everyone, excited to be here and talk about Deep Rock Chapter and meditation and
yes,
New Age,
aligning our chi. Yeah. Yep, you're in the right place. Actually, chakras are down the hall.
Oh, okay.
Great. Well, I know that this will be brief, but I always like to start with like, I don't know what we were expecting, or I guess rather than what we were expecting and how do you describe it, would be more like, when did you first come in contact with it? I think I watched it initially, like, I remember when it first launched, and I watched a couple streamers like Baru playing through it, and it just looked like a blast. But that was a long time before we actually started picking it up across the disparate platforms.
I mean, I didn't, you guys told me about it when I think it came up on Game Pass, Microsoft Game Pass.
Yep.
And then we try to do the thing where it's like, oh, okay, two of us will be on Xbox, and then the rest of us will be on Steam, or I'll be on like our Game Pass account on the computer, and just the hell that was trying to get those two entities to talk to each other was not too much fun.
That's rough.
Yeah. I'd been following Deep Rock for a while, actually. Around when it first like got its release, a couple of the reviewers I like were singing its praises. And then a few folks at work actually were really into it, so I picked it up and played just here and there with them, and we're trying to convince other people to try it out, and then account shenanigans that Brian alluded to ensued.
Yes.
And
because it's been out for,
I just looked it up,
years.
February 2018, so
it's
like 4 years now.
4 years. Wow, that's
so I remember like a podcast that I listened to regularly, Rebel FM. I remember it was like Anthony Gallegos on that podcast. He was a big fan of it because he loves dwarves, I guess, and like right when it came out. So I remember hearing about this for a long time, and then I didn't play it until it was on Game Pass.
Yeah, I think there were same here, where it was like there was a big gap between hearing about it and then finally actually taking the plunge. And I think that a big catalyst for that was Game Pass.
That's when Kevin was like, "Now's my moment. People to play Deep Rock Galactic with."
Yes. Yes. Well, great.
Didn't some of our group had to like transfer their accounts?
Do we want to get into the whole thing now? We keep coming back to the account thing.
Yeah, I think we should. I knew that the points wouldn't line up, but one of the big frustrations was the multi-platform aspect of it, because I don't remember it, like, was it like Josh and Min bought it on Steam and then
I mean, I already owned it on Steam and had
okay,
been trying to persuade people that I knew could
yeah,
play PC games to get it on Steam and play it with me.
hmm,
So there were a few folks that had
okay,
those. And I mean, I'd played quite a bit with like folks from work on Steam and
oh
stuff.
yeah,
Um, so a lot
Like,
of my frustration, but then there's no. It's like even if you are playing on PC, if you wanted to play with people on the Game Pass version,
yeah,
they would not communicate at all. Like you had to have the version that's in Microsoft's ecosystem. And there's a
yeah,
whole convoluted way that you can transfer your save over, but there's
oh
no way to like, yeah. So and it's like a pain in the ass. So I
yeah,
actually I've transferred my save back and forth from Steam to Microsoft a couple of times now. And then I gave up, which is good because kind of everybody just stopped playing it after a little bit anyway. So that
yeah,
was the first round.
yeah, yeah. I think this game is prime for an account or cross-play type system, and that's probably
Yeah.
going to be one of the biggest recommendations at the end of this all is just give me an account-based system. I mean, I did enjoy jumping from platform to platform because, like, on one platform I'd be high level in one class, and then I would jump over and I'd pick a different. It would just kind of shit.
I
Semi-forced
guess. I
shuffling, but
mean,
yeah,
I'd I'd rather just play the other class and also have my high level of
mm,
the class
sure,
I've been playing personally. But
sure,
Right. Yeah.
yeah, I kind of I've done the tutorial missions 4 times now.
yeah, seriously.
Um,
yeah.
Oof.
so I'm kind of over that.
Mm,
Well, that's a great segue into just kind of like the initial gameplay loop and those initial missions. I guess we did play through them. What are our kind of thoughts on, I guess, the way we introduced to it and those kind of initial missions?
I I actually I mean one of the reasons I was able to play through them 4 times is because I actually think that the way that the game intros you is pretty good, and the
mhm.
tutorial missions before the game opens up and you have some choices about what you want to unlock next and stuff is
Yeah,
I mean it's basically just to encourage to make sure that everybody has played through each mission type at least once essentially, um which I think is good.
yeah,
And the tutorial mission that it drops you into when you first start is it's voice acted and it tells you how to do everything, and I don't
Yeah.
know.
It onboards you pretty smoothly, I think.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Were there were there duplicates within the initial mission structure? Because that's one of the things I might
There
say is it just felt a
are
little bit long.
there are a couple. They're in different environments,
Yeah,
um, and they play and different difficulty levels. So like essentially like there's a few of the like basic like I think it's dolomite harvests or something.
yeah,
That's like the first mission.
Right.
There's a few of those throughout, but each one is in a different environment and at a different intensity level.
yeah.
So I think that's also kind of
Intentional.
yeah, yeah. Plus, I mean, if those missions are the game. So if you're
Yeah,
getting bored by those initial missions, the game might just not be what you're looking for,
oh
I
sure.
guess.
Right.
Yeah, I guess what I'm yeah, I guess I was kind of hoping for like the ideal Monster Hunter-esque where like everyone jumps in, you have a couple objectives outside of those initial missions where it's like, "Oh, I need to go to Hellscape." I don't remember what the actual areas were called, but like, I have to go to the magma area and I need to, find whatever's there. I wish I was just departed
Well,
away from those missions
uh,
a little
well,
sooner.
I mean, sort of, as you say though, like Monster Hunter-esque, like everybody, especially if they're playing different classes,
Yeah.
does need to upgrade their gear and weapons, and those
Yeah.
require different resources, which are
Yeah.
found in different maps. So that's kind of that, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I feel like you could do one mission in one biome, do all 7 biomes, and then you wouldn't have 4 more extra at the end of it. But
Yeah,
yeah,
So you just think that the tutorial track is too long?
I mean, having played it twice and then immediately not playing it again, like not playing. I mean, and yeah, having played through it twice and then that being like, and then that being the falling off point. Um, I don't know, maybe just rubbed me
I do
the wrong
think,
way.
yeah, I think it's too long personally.
I'm not. I'm inclined to agree. I think that the game could open up sooner.
Yeah.
because, or at least that variety could come sooner because there's quite a bit of variety in terms of mission
Honestly, it
structure.
just keeps coming the further you get too.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does, and it's almost like I don't know, and I can't. I think some of it is because some of the newer mission structures. I could be wrong about this, but I think some of those came on later in development, like as they were like
They did.
added in,
Mm.
and so
They
I
did.
think that's why they're not featured like so early on. But yeah, there is just like a certain point, and again, I think it's only because we had to do the tutorial multiple times. Then I'm just like, okay, just open up, please. I know what I'm doing. Let's go.
Yeah.
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 Well, and then I don't know if you guys had this experience, but like I had that feeling too. So I was like, okay, I have an afternoon. I'm just going to solo through all of the
Mm.
tutorial missions to get to the end so that I can
Just,
get
like
some
jump
more of
in.
the stuff
Yeah.
because I'm tired of doing the tutorial over and over again because I've
Yeah.
played this on so many platforms by now. But then the result was that then I ended up playing through the tutorial 5 more times in the course of our
Yeah,
new
Yeah.
because you're
playthrough
joining. Yeah,
because I'm trying to get everybody else through the tutorial.
Yeah.
So,
right.
that kinda backfired on me a
Ah.
little bit.
Yeah.
Um,
You get to do the higher level stuff. It almost
yeah, but it's like you want other people there
Yeah.
too, because so much of the game is playing ideally with a 4-person group with 1
Yeah.
person in each class.
Yeah, and that's probably my. Well, I guess we don't have to get into it yet, but that's definitely really my only complaint with the game is that I never want to play this game alone, like ever. I have
Yeah,
'Sure.
0% playing this
it's
by
not
myself.
it's not great by yourself, yeah.
But speaking of like the 4-person party, what do we think of the characters, or do we have favorites? Yeah, just describe that a little bit.
They're pretty diverse, which I think is really cool in terms of play style.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think the class design is, like, maybe the thing the game does the best out of everything,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
is just the way that the classes both are so distinct and have different stuff, and yet still the way that especially their traversal abilities work together to navigate the
yes,
Oh
environments
my
is just
god, yeah.
incredibly satisfying.
Well, we
very
keep
satisfying.
talking about every time we play, like how there's no bad character, there's no bad
Yeah.
role to play.
No,
Like you,
it's like yeah, I wish Steven was here because he always Steven's favorite thing to say is like, "Oh, whenever he's playing one character, he always sees the other characters and wants to play them."
Yeah.
Yes,
He
yeah,
always wants
same,
that
Because
thing that
there's
the other character can do because 'cause they're
uh-huh.
all so good.
Because the
and that's just
puzzle
good
yeah.
design, you know.
Yeah.
Each puzzle piece just fits together so well with like what do we need to do and how do we need to do it.
Right. And like when I play with somebody and they're like they want to play like the one I'm usually maining or something, I have no problem like
Yeah.
picking up another class because I'm like, oh great, I've been wanting to play this one too.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, I have like no yeah, exactly. I'm like perfectly happy to play any one of those dwarves. They're
yeah,
all great. Um, and I think going off the other thing you said too, I actually think their character designs are really fun. The voices are
yeah,
Oh
ridiculous, but
yes.
mm-hmm.
Oh my
like they
god.
all have kind of a personality. They all have a really distinct voice,
Yep.
uh-huh.
and it's endlessly fun to listen to all the stupid things they say.
Oh yep.
It really is. The vibe in general, like just
It's so
the
good.
art style and like the sense of humor and everything. I'm like, I can't believe this hasn't been optioned for like a TV show yet, just because
For
it's like
real.
it's so silly
Yeah.
and fun, but like the through line is so clear, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's like that sort of overtone of like, you're like union miners too. So
Yeah.
there's
Yeah,
Yeah.
also like
exactly. It's like a
management
fun way to
yells at
approach,
you,
yeah,
but
like
like
blue collar
yeah, it's like you get the sense that you're
comedy.
working for some kind of dystopian mega corporation, but
Yeah.
that's you know that's sort of in the background
Yeah,
and you're just getting drunk and kicking barrels.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
and turning off gravity and
Hell yeah.
Oh
God,
yeah.
the toy box of the hub.
I mean, I
Space
want to say
station.
that most of my time, I mean, not most, but a fair amount of my time was just running around that main room,
Yeah.
just like fucking around with my friends, kicking barrels and
Mhm.
and
Yeah,
being idiots. It was
I
fun.
think that's something that a lot these style games, I think that's a lot of the stronger ones kind of have something like this, and I think it's a sign of a really strong game of this type is like just that it's fun to just like hang out in the hub world in between missions too. Like
Yeah.
Yeah.
they give you so many toys to play with. My mind exploded when we found like that whole other like soccer game just like
Hmm.
underneath
Oh,
the bar.
yeah.
Oh, right.
So I played this game, as I said, many times, and never had found that before.
Yeah.
That was awesome too. So many little. I'm sure there's stuff in there that we haven't found too. It's
Oh,
just like,
yeah.
Or they unlock later or something like
yeah,
that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. No, I think it's really strong, like game design and game in the game loop, because things get so intense in the gameplay that it's like, okay, cool, we've got a moment. Also gives you time for like a bathroom break or check on something. But
Yeah, and people aren't bored if they're waiting around for folks to get back from getting a snack or something.
yeah, and
Totally.
like yeah, there's. I think it's just I don't know. I don't know what the right word. I don't know if it's like mature game design or something like that, but like being okay with like having a cooling off period rather than these like always on type games that like constantly want to keep your attention. I don't know. I think it's a good. I think it's good design to just have that kind of that period in
Absolutely.
between.
Yeah, I mean, hub worlds, because we see them so often now,
Yeah.
Mhm.
they just need that kind of stuff. And it's like,
Yeah, and
it's the
this,
reason that like when you play Destiny or something, it's
Yeah.
when you
That's
yeah,
go to the
exactly where my mind
tower,
went.
there's just
Yeah.
like all the merchants aren't in the same spot, and
Hmm.
there's like weird balls to kick around and stuff. And it's
Yeah.
like, I don't know how much it succeeds necessarily, but it's like, yeah, you need
yeah,
stuff like that.
yeah, and I think this is Deep Rocks is I think one of the most effective examples of that I've seen in any game.
Totally. Yeah.
Speaking of like the characters and how they match up, I know the ideal is the 3-man, but I or the 4-man, but I
Yeah,
definitely had like I think a 2 or a 3 where just like the abilities didn't match up to the mission, and
mm.
I felt just a little friction there. I mean,
Oh,
yeah, usually
It
with
gets
a
more
3,
challenging.
yeah.
yeah,
See, to me, I didn't mind that as much because to me it felt like a new and different puzzle
okay,
almost.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
Um, so I kind of liked like, okay, we don't have that, but how do these characters? Because like,
yeah,
I mean, almost everything like it's harder, but you can get through
yeah,
them with a single character if you have a little patience and know
yeah,
how that character
Right.
works really well.
Like
So
Kevin, I
like,
think there was one where like it was Yumi and Pamela, and we didn't have the person that made platforms or something.
mm,
mhm.
And we were trying to get eggs, and some of the eggs were up like really high in this giant cavern space.
yeah,
Yeah, which is
It's
like
so
that's so it's like if
yeah,
you have the scout and the engineer, it's like just engineer makes a platform, scout zips up to it, done. But
right.
yeah,
like, yeah,
We didn't have that, so we were like trying to figure out how to
yeah.
do.
So
And
it's
it
like,
ended up being really like fun because I was like, oh, our usual method is no longer valid, so now we have to like be clever again.
yes,
yeah,
Hmm.
exactly. So it's like, yeah,
yeah.
I
We make a
so
zip
I
line up to it and then sit there while someone
Yeah.
makes lights or whatever. Yeah,
Well, like I was
perfect.
a digger, so I was trying to find a way to like drill like paths upward through like
yeah,
walls to certain points, and
Yeah,
yeah, I mean it certainly lengthened the mission time.
sure.
We
sure,
we weren't knocking it out of the park efficiency wise, but it was still fun, like being like,
yeah,
how do we do this now?
exactly. And if I'm having fun, I don't need to do everything perfectly.
Right.
Yeah,
So and yeah, I found that super engaging. Um,
Well, I tooled around on solo a little bit just to, because I was bored or whatever. And what struck me is like I was worried that, oh crap, I only have 1/4 of the puzzle pieces. But playing solo, you're still very capable of doing all the stuff, of
yeah,
Right.
achieving all the mission objectives. It's just going to take you longer, and you're going to have to figure out It's like, okay, I'm the driller, and that thing's way up there. So I
Right.
guess I'm just
How do
gonna
I
make
get
a. I guess I'm making a gigantic, twisty tunnel to get up there or whatever.
Yeah,
Yeah.
corkscrew or and switchbacks or something. Yeah.
Yeah. Another nice little bit of game design is like, yeah, you kind of need to use more of when you're playing by yourself or with fewer people, you kind of need to use more of your ammo for your, traversal ability. But then you have 4 uses of the supply drop, so you have access to more
Oh,
of it than if
yeah,
there were 4 of you.
Right.
that's true.
So,
Yeah, that was always nice when it was like, okay, who needs the fourth?
yeah,
Who
when you're
needs the
doing 3
fourth when you have
people.
like a three-person party, or you get two each if you're two manning
Yeah.
it. So
So
yeah,
it
that
kind
was
of
always fun.
scales in a clever way. Yeah.
Did it? I mean, we talked about how good all the characters are designed. Did everybody have like a favorite?
Mine
I
was
like the engineer.
nice.
Nice.
And I liked the gunner.
Ooh,
I like the gunner. I like the
nice.
gunner.
I like all of them. As I've said, I could gush about each and every one of them, and I'm never mad to play one. But my favorite is the driller.
Nice.
The
Driller is
flamethrower is
that
great.
flamethrower is so satisfying.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Like the
flamethrower is
best
very
flamethrower
satisfying.
I've ever used in a video game,
Yeah.
and drilling tunnels is really fun.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess I also favorited the driller, especially like some of the late game, or not some, like some of the end game, like when you're finished with a mission. I just like always enjoyed like just trying to attempt to drill straight through to where the drop spot was, as opposed to like
Yeah,
taking the roundabout way.
the
Right.
driller has the best like fuck it energy where you just are like, I'm
Yes,
just going
Exactly.
straight
I'm
there.
just doing it. I'm just going for it. Yep,
Yeah.
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
funny.
I like the driller a lot, but there's something about the zip lining with the scout, is it?
Hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
Mm,
like the scout.
yeah. Scout's probably my
nice.
second favorite. God, that grapple is fun too.
Yeah. And wait,
Uh,
are they the ones that shoot the zip line as well?
Gunner
no,
has the
gunner
Oh, the
has
the
gunner
the.
has a zip
rideable
line.
zip lines.
yeah.
Yeah,
Oh god, yeah. See, they're just all so good. They're
they're
just
all
like
good. They're all
Yeah.
great
great.
They're all
tools.
great. Yeah.
And well, the my favorite moments in like any given mission is if I'm the gunner and I shoot a zip line across a big cavern and a zip line and there's a bunch of bugs and you're just like firing off this minigun as you're zip lining through this cavern
Yeah,
Yes.
is like the most
so epic.
badass thing. It's the most
Yeah.
badass
Yeah.
thing. There's so many of those kind of moments that you could pull from.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think one of my favorite experiences was actually as the gunner, and it was just like we just had this like inverted sphere mission, and so I was just like zip lining throughout this just like empty sphere area, and it was just so good to just like one side of the sphere to the other, and it's just like one giant big room, and you're just like, okay, where does my zip line actually hit to, and how do we go just across it? So I can just imagine like a freaking ball of twine where just lines of zip lines were going all around the whole place. It was really fun.
Yeah, like
yeah,
I think that was the one we were doing. Yeah, that you just have you're in this one room and then just you just have a spider web, so you're jumping from one zip line to the other zip line to get to the place
Uh
Right.
huh.
fast enough to like
Yeah.
fix the thing that broke. So
Yeah.
you know, I think this game is doing the thing that is always like the best sign when we do a game on Friend Zone here, and that we're talking about it, and I really want to go play it now.
yeah,
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely. Um, we talked a little bit about like really enjoying like the flamethrower and stuff like that. Like, what do we think of the weapons and kind of leveling those up and potentially even like different builds? We can talk about that here too.
Yeah, I
The
I don't know
weapons
how.
feel unique, which I think
Yes,
is important, and they succeed with that for sure. Like,
yeah, and I don't know how far anybody else got, but like, did anybody unlock any of the alternate weapons for the classes?
That's
Because
no, I
there's
haven't.
I didn't
yeah,
actually.
each class has like 2 alternate primary weapons, and they're all just as unique and distinct as the starting ones too.
I saw that as a honest trailer recently dropped a thing for Deep Rock. and they talked about like switching out the weapons and getting them different. And I think I did get one higher where like I changed out like the gunner's pistol to something else different.
Yeah, I've only done 2.
Yeah, like
I got
that.
the cryo launcher for the driller that replaces the
Yeah.
flamethrower, which is fun, but honestly, I kind of missed the flamethrower.
Yeah. Oh, because it
Freezing
like
stuff is
freeze.
cool, but the flamethrower just kills them. So,
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
but and then I got the engineer has like a galvanic, like an electric SMG. It's pretty fun to
Oh,
use.
cool.
Ooh, cool.
One of my favorite, also part of changing things out, like the different grenades. I think the scout got probably one of my favorite things, was just like rather than just like a typical grenade, all of a sudden it turns into this like kind of like Fallout Merv where it just like spawns even smaller grenades or like bounces along the way, and it was like
Yeah.
if you can get all 4 of those to hit like a freaking Praetorian or something like that, it's like you can freaking one shot it. I was like, holy crap! And I think it was like pink when it exploded, so that was also fun and exciting and jubilant.
Yeah, just like the weapons, the grenades are all really unique and generally all feel really good and all do really different stuff.
Yeah, I love the dancing like decoy grenade.
Mhm.
Oh yes,
Yeah, I
yeah,
mean, I just love the driller's main grenade, which is just an axe
Just
that
an
he
axe.
Yeah.
throws at their
yes,
head.
Throws an axe.
yes,
I love that.
And I love that if you like miss, you can pick it
Just
up.
go pick it up. It's so good.
yes.
Yeah.
Let me go get my axe.
Did anybody have any like unique builds? I feel like there was a couple like people actually started branching off when they had like the same character and people were switching around. So curious what kind of like different builds people experimented with.
I don't
feel
know
like
how far enough I got to be able to do too much experimentation, honestly.
yeah, I mean, I got, again, I feel the same way. I feel like I kind of, by the end of what, by like as far as I've gotten now, I feel like I've gotten to a point where, okay, I can like start to make a build kind of, but I still feel like I barely scratched the surface on what the builds can do in this game.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, there's like you get into the perks and then
Yes.
all of the different talents on every weapon and your armor and everything. There's actually like I was
Yeah.
surprised how much build variety there seems to
Yeah.
be in this game.
Especially when you get into like the perk point
Yeah.
system.
Mhm.
Yeah, like those things
Yeah.
don't seem super impactful when you're getting them at first, but like some of the higher tier ones are really meaningful.
Yeah.
No, the instant revive like saved our bacon several times where it was just like 2 people go down and you're like oh instant like left trigger instant revive like
Yeah.
it's huge. And I feel like a couple of us were diversifying like I think I had like a speedy scout, like where I had all the speed stuff and then like a more healing tank gunner or something like that. So the perk points were definitely a reprieve and variety
Yeah.
when you were switching things up.
Yeah, and then like later you get the crazy ones, like the one that lets you tame a bug.
Oh
And you just have
yes.
like a
Oh, I
you
didn't know
can
about
be
that
like a
one.
pet class. Yeah, it's great. You can just tame like a grunt.
Oh
Uh,
yeah. Is that
and there's a couple of other ones like that too.
that's not like unique to a class, it's part of the perk system?
No, it's on the perk tree.
Oh
Anybody can
nice.
do it.
Nice. Um yeah, I guess you after you grind it out, and I mean one of the fun things again during the cooling off period was just like making your dwarf look just absurd.
Oh,
Yeah.
And that
yes, the
was
cosmetics.
we gotta talk about the cosmetics. So what's everybody's thoughts on that?
I love it.
I mean,
But it's-
it wouldn't be the definitive choice in Dwarf Simulation if it didn't have as many beard choices as it has,
Oh
and
yeah.
as many beer choices as it has for that matter.
yes.
Ooh, there you go.
Beer
We
and
can talk,
beard.
yeah, we
Yeah.
can talk about the beer later, but
Yeah.
What I love about the character, I don't know, designing, your character creation and modifying system is that it's like almost impossible to look cool.
yes,
Yes.
yes,
And that's what I love about it, because so often in games like that, I'm like, well, I don't want to look stupid,
Sure.
But in
Yeah.
this one, it's like, you look stupid. you're gonna look stupid.
Yeah,
So you might as
you're
well
gonna
look as
look like
stupid
this.
as possible.
Yes.
Yes, you nailed it.
Yes.
Man, yeah, you put
It's
into
like
words kind of
freeing, you know?
exactly how I felt there. Because
So
yeah,
I'm
it's
just
like
like, no, I want the most ridiculous mustache. I want
yeah,
the craziest hair. Like I don't
Yes.
want like there's no like, oh, I look very, put together and well thought out. It's
No.
like, no, you want to look like bonkers.
Yeah.
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 It's not like I'm doing my glamours in Final Fantasy 14 and I want to like
Right.
kind of look cool and I don't want to like ruin my immersion in cutscenes or anything.
Right.
And I like instead it's just like, all right, I'm gonna look silly. Everybody's gonna look silly.
Yeah.
These dwarves are ridiculous. I'm gonna need that pompadour.
Exactly.
Yes. Yes. I want the beard that looks like an afro is growing out of my chin.
Hell yes.
Precisely. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
so fun.
And again, yeah, it's just like the whole thing is so the game feels very fun forward, I guess, in that
Yes.
way. Like
Yeah.
just so many of these systems and the aesthetics and the way it all comes together, everything feels like they just did it with the goal that it was going to be fun.
Yeah.
Mm.
Which yeah, and like, most games want to be fun, but they're just that feels like such a just focus. There's like a playfulness to it all,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Patrick nailed it with "You're gonna look stupid." Just double down.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah. I always liked my. I think did the characters mention? I don't know if the characters mention your look, but I remember like my driller just looking sickly and pale and like hairless. It just looks
Some of
weird.
the skin colors.
Yeah.
Also, they all look terrifying if you take all their facial hair off.
Oh
Yeah.
dear
Yeah.
God. Yeah.
You're like, all right, what if I go clean shaven? Ah!
Ah,
Huh. I gotta put this.
Hide it. Hide it.
Yeah, I gotta put this Russian hat on.
Exactly.
What do we think of the enemy design and like playing through the enemies? I actually found that even though there wasn't necessarily a diverse enemy set, I didn't get tired of shooting spiders.
So here's the thing. Yeah, I kind of felt like, in my head, especially having played Deep Rock a bunch of times, I'm like, oh yeah, enemy variety isn't great. This time when we played, I probably every other mission, I would find myself saying, what the hell is that thing?
yeah.
Like
Yeah.
Yeah.
there were a surprising amount of special enemies that I did not remember, and I think a lot of them have
Yeah.
been added,
Yeah,
throughout the
maybe.
life of the game and stuff. But
Sure.
there's a lot of special bugs that do pretty nasty stuff. So yeah, I think it's actually pretty good.
Yeah. No, yeah, yeah, I think they've added some slowly over time, but yeah, for
Yeah.
for a game where there's probably there's a handful or two handfuls of different enemies, like I didn't get tired of shooting mostly the same thing, just because they like when the little spiders come at you while you're holding an egg, like it adds to like the mission variety plus the enemy variety, like can definitely spice things up and make things crazy.
Yeah.
Well, it's because the game isn't, hey, let's go shoot a bunch of bugs. The game is
Yes.
do other stuff. And oh, these bugs are here. You better
Yes.
take care of the bugs.
Right.
Yeah.
So
Yes, exactly. Also, I
Yeah,
mean,
it would get boring if it was if the
Mm.
focus was fight
Yes.
the bugs.
yeah,
Yes.
if it was just like let's play horde mode, then it would not be great. But
No.
because of the mission variety and the variety of objectives, I think that really helps it. Also, they did just add like a totally new non-bug enemy type in the robots that they added
Oh
in the
yeah.
Resurgence update,
Right.
Yeah.
which was a free update for this game, which
Great.
is awesome. It's got a
Yeah.
very it added the
Yeah,
season
dev
pass,
support has been
but
great for the game.
oh my goodness,
Yes.
yeah,
Mm.
I'm amazed how you can tell they just love the game. I think they just
Yeah.
love the game they made.
They love it. They're proud of it. They want
Yeah.
to keep it going.
Yeah.
Which like yeah, they deserve to be proud of it. I think it's really really well done. So
Yeah. Those robots definitely threw a monkey wrench into several missions that we were playing through. Where
Mhm.
it's like, do we want to interact with it? It's like, oh no, he's got the thing. We gotta
Mhm.
get the thing from him, or it's just like someone accidentally shoots one. It's like, oh shit, now we're fighting two robot bosses while
All
we're
these
trying
robots.
Yeah.
yeah.
to.
They just add like an extra layer of chaos to the missions too, where when one shows up, so that's pretty fun as well.
Ooh, I don't have like mission variety on here, but people have favorite missions. What do people think of the mission? Each of the
Hands
different
down.
missions.
Hands down, best mission is the ones where you have to connect all the pipes.
Yes.
Yes.
And
absolutely,
then you can
hands down.
and then you can grind on the
You can
pipes.
grind on the
Yep.
pipes. Yep.
Those
Period.
are the
Period.
best.
Best
Pipe
mission.
grinding all day.
Yep.
Absolutely. It's building those pipe networks and then being able to grind on them is such a joy.
Once to the point, kind of like, oh, I can take the direct route, or I can make this cool roller coaster kind of feel, and so that way when I have to grind, it's gonna be really sick. And so you just like almost, it turns into like, Tony Hawk park editor, where you're trying to make the most sick grind
Yeah.
derail.
It's that same thing too, where it's sort of like, again, like there is like, okay, I could build this the most efficiently I could, but hey, if I take the pipe up there and then it comes down and turns
That would be
that way,
fun.
that'd be pretty sick.
Pretty
Yeah.
sick.
Let's do that.
Yeah. Or just out of necessity, you make like a a swirly a bowl.
Yeah,
like
that's true.
you just
Sometimes
spiral
the
out or something.
tunnel complexity 3 pipe building by
Yeah.
necessity is insane. So
Yeah. No, that was is there if it's clearly the pipe ones, is there a less clear second place?
I like the ones where you're escorting the big driller to the gem hearts. That's probably
Yes.
my second favorite one. I just really like how much different stuff you do in that mission type. I like being able to ride on the big drill.
And then you have that like that big like defense portion at the end where you have to like fight just waves after waves.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
fun.
I like finding the mule, like the broken mules or whatever.
Oh yeah, that one's fun.
Ooh,
And then
yes.
bring back, and
Yes.
then the last part of the mission is kind of a horde mode near the escape pod.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah, the my first when I made like driller and stuff like that, I always liked egg harvesting just because it was just like, this is my time to shine. It's like drill in, find a thing,
like
get it out. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess that's the other thing is like they're definitely why you can do every mission type as every class, even solo.
Yeah.
There's definitely like some mission types are like a certain class's time to shine.
Yes.
Which is pretty fun too.
Yeah, when you start daisy chaining zip lines together to get, from one side to the other real quick, like that was always fun.
Like, when you need to hunt the awkworks, like the scout just gets to zip around and grab a bunch of them and like throw them down to everybody and stuff.
Yes.
Like, that's pretty fun.
Yeah. So it sounds like we didn't get to too much of the end game / like deep dive stuff, but having heard what they're about, I definitely want to get to them where it's like
me too.
multiple different like mission types in a single mission. Like that just sounds bonkers.
Geez. Yeah.
Yeah, like chaining mission types together, or even the boss fights were fun because that's at the end of the initial 10 mission, right? Is a boss fight. I think we did that once or twice, and it was like the bosses are very different and unique, and there's multiple in a single single mission. Yeah.
I guess that's the one that you do the least in the tutorial missions because I think there's just the one boss fight mission at the end of the tutorial. But yeah, those ones are really fun. The boss it's interesting to have like almost kind of a raid boss style fight in Deep Rock Galactic. And yeah, I think more so than I think almost any other game that we've talked about in the time we've been doing Friend Zone, like I really want to keep playing Deep Rock and get further into it.
Yeah.
And,
it's a good forever game.
Yeah. I think
when something is hot and new and we want to play that, we go play that. But like Deep Rock's one of those games you can come back to.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, that's what I'm mostly looking forward to. Is just like when there's a lull between games and I want to hang out with everybody on a Friday night and just play Deep Rock and get a couple missions in.
Yeah, that's one like you can always be like, "Hey, anybody want to play Deep Rock?" And I'll just always keep it installed and be like,
Yeah.
"Yeah,
Yeah, exactly. It's
Yeah.
like always installed. It's like let's just jump in. You know,
Yeah.
we know what we're doing in that game. It's still fun enough that it's challenging, and we're not like bored of it.
hmm
Yeah.
Still got a lot more beer to unlock." So
It's
Yeah.
true. Oh yeah, we want to talk about them beers. The
I mean,
different.
it kind of dovetails with what we were talking about with like dwarf design and also the
Yeah.
fun of the hub world
Yeah.
because the fact that there's like a progression of upgrading your brewery and unlocking the beers, and then they do increasingly insane, silly things when you drink them.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then,
Yeah.
there's
Spectacular.
yeah, and there's like toy beers, but then there's also the beers that give you like the buff for the next mission. But
Yeah.
the the progression of unlocking the like toy beers is is really fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely.
I
Well,
Yeah.
can't wait
well,
to unlock more and see what they do.
I mean, to justify Casey's spoiler warning he put on this video, when we unlocked Blackout Stout, we're like, what does Blackout Stout do?
Yeah. What is
Yes.
that?
And then we all drank it, and then we all thought our game crashed because we just like passed out on the dance floor,
You
and then
freaking die, yeah.
and then wake up in the infirmary. You're like, oh my god, did that just happen? Like, what the hell?
Yeah, I think the only ones I've unlocked so far are the Blackout Stout and the Arkan Stout, which like freezes everybody
Ooh,
solid
yes.
when they drink it.
Also beautiful name. Yeah.
Yes, there's so many like
Very good.
references in the
Yeah.
beer names and stuff, and
Yeah. Or
because it's
the
dwarves, a lot of them are Lord of the Rings references.
yeah. Or the one of my favorite mustaches was just always the Swanson. So
Yes,
getting
Yeah.
that's
getting
true.
that strong answer.
All the hairstyles and mustaches are like named after the character
Yeah.
that they're based on. If they're based on a really distinctive
Yeah.
character's facial hair.
Yeah. Do we have any dreams or hopes for, or suggestions for future content? Other things that we would like to see added to the game?
Oh, I
I guess
mean,
I'm not certain what the entirety of it of all the modes are, but I think I don't know, like some like a PvP like mine
Mm.
race.
Ooh.
Oh
ooh,
yeah,
Would be interesting.
that like PvPvE style thing.
Yeah, like two
Yeah.
teams are trying to like
Get to the center of something faster,
yeah, like do a
or
Oh, that would
mission
be
acquire.
faster.
Yeah.
interesting.
Yeah, that'd be very cool. Some kind of race mode would be great. Trying to like full, yeah,
4v4
yeah,
mission
optimized.
mining race. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I also wonder if there would be like a cool if it would be fun to do like an asymmetrical like you get to be the bugs kind of mode. Like the way the Left 4 Dead does getting
Yeah.
to be
Hmm.
like play the zombies and the
I could see
PvP
that,
mode.
especially with
Yeah, I think they
mm,
need to give the special bugs maybe a little love to make them fun for a player to control, but I think that has a lot of
Yeah,
potential to be
probably.
really cool.
Yeah, or maybe that's like a good Deep Rock 2.
Yeah,
yeah.
maybe so.
Um, any other kind of future content we would?
Um, I have to give a shout out to this game's season pass that they added in
Yes.
that latest content update.
Yeah.
So when they added the rival incursion stuff, they added a season pass to the game, and it might be the friendliest season pass I've ever seen in a
it's
game.
really good. It's
Oh
really
Um,
yeah.
good.
like it's literally just there to reward you for playing the game.
Yep.
And as far as I can tell, there's no way to like real money interact with it at all.
Yeah, it's
And
just
it
Yeah.
just
like
and it
thanks for
just gives
playing.
you and even then it doesn't give you gameplay benefits. It just gives you fun cosmetic stuff.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's just like it's one of the like best, friendliest, most like consumer player friendly season passes I've ever seen added to an online game. So props for that.
Yeah. Yeah, and the theme of it was pretty cool, and like getting some of the weapon skins unlocked as you got deeper down the tree.
Yeah, I like
Uh,
that it was like a talent tree, so like you had to choose a path through it, so that
Right,
kept
there was
kind of
choices to
so like
make.
everybody wasn't just getting the same stuff at sort
Hmm.
of the same rate. So that
yeah.
was fun and like yeah, it's just
It's
really
very
really
good.
good.
Yeah. Very cool. Anything else we wanted to talk about before we kind of sum up our thoughts?
I don't know. I would say like it might be good to like have like a fifth kind of role, but I don't know if I need that.
I
I
don't
don't know.
know.
Yeah.
I
You
almost feel
know,
like the game is so tightly balanced around those four that it's like, yeah, I don't know if they. I guess if they really had a good idea for it, then I'd trust that design. But man, the four are so good.
before
Yeah.
yeah. So
It would. Yeah. It would. I bet it would take a lot of time and effort to add a fifth puzzle piece in there, but I feel like they could do it. I don't have any ideas what that would be, but
Yeah, God, I feel like
they.
everything
Yeah.
about like the way that their traversals again like interact together and stuff. Man, that would just it would be a feat to
yeah,
do that. I'm not
Yeah.
saying that they can't do it, but
Yeah.
and I would love to see it if they pulled it off. But man, that sounds hard.
Maybe if they really like leaned into the like bug tamer.
Yeah,
Oh.
maybe like a pet class kind of thing. That would be interesting.
Oh. Yeah. And then
Yeah.
you could ride the animal up the wall or something like that
Right.
to
Yeah.
just
yeah.
get
Oh,
some.
yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. You could like ride up the wall, and like maybe you could like distract like the boss bugs a bit
Mm.
more, something like that.
Mm.
Could
That'd
Oh
be
yeah,
so
very
it's
cool.
more.
something that's
It's
a
not
little
really about like
more.
the digging or traversal side too much as it is about like
Yeah,
managing the threats.
yeah,
Yeah.
like
Ooh.
a yeah, like a biologist kind of class
Yeah.
that's more
Yeah.
focused on the bugs. That okay, that's not bad.
Yeah. I could.
There's I think there's
Yeah.
something there. Yeah.
Totally. Well, cool. Let's wrap up and talk about kind of our recommendations and what we think of it overall, and starting with Brian.
Uh, you're not going to regret having this game chilling in your library. It's
Unless you
probably
have
free on. It's probably free on whatever you're playing it on,
Yeah.
or so just download it, get some friends together, drink some beer, and you know,
Both
have
in
a good
game and
time,
out.
both in
yeah,
game and out, and
yes.
enjoy this highly replayable game on like
Yeah.
many different points because every level's generated separately, so it's fun.
Great.
Mm.
Kevin.
Yeah, I mean, you probably could tell by listening to me talk about it, but I love this game and I plan to keep playing it, on and off in between other lot releases and stuff for as long as I can have friends play it with me.
Yeah.
So, that's like the one caveat I'd say if you're thinking about picking this game up and it's not, and it's not on Game Pass or, there's a little bit more of like you're actually buying it on Steam or something is like I can't really recommend it if you don't think you're gonna have at least one or two friends that'll play it with you. And, hopefully at least a decent amount so you can get into the game a bit. But if you think that you have a couple of people, even not the full four that can have it, then you really can't go wrong. It's just so fun.
Yeah. Uh, Sidebar for a sec. Did anybody try matchmaking?
No,
No.
No.
I did a little
Okay.
bit. I didn't. It's just
I
not
don't
as.
like people. I don't like internet people.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah,
Sorry, your
'Cause I
listeners
know
are
that
internet people, but
I know that that does exist and that is an option. I just don't know
it does.
as
I
reg.
mean, it
Yeah.
it has all the problems you'd expect with people. No one ever talks, and everybody runs off in different directions and tries to do their own things, and
Mm. Yeah.
gets pissy if they fall down on the other side of the map and nobody's there to rescue them. And
Mm. Okay.
it's all the stuff you'd expect from a
Okay.
cooperative online game like that.
Sure.
If you don't know exactly what to do in a mission, be ready for people to grief you. You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah. Normal stuff.
yeah.
yeah,
Normal internet.
All
Normal.
it,
that normal stuff that makes all of us be like, no,
Would never.
when people
Yeah.
talk
I
about
would
matchmaking.
never. Yeah. I would never do that. Okay. Well, cool. Patrick, what are your final thoughts?
Game's good, man. It's good. It's fun to play. It's it's the developers like just know exactly what they're doing, and they are so kind to you as a player.
Mhm.
Um, and they're clearly in love with what they're working on. And man, I just love spending some of my fake in-game money on the jukebox and doing a silly dance.
Hell yeah.
Yes.
I have to do it between every mission because it's
Mhm.
just the dance animations are silly, and
Yeah.
the game is just like good, silly fun.
Yep.
And there's not enough games like it, honestly.
100%. Yeah,
Games.
you gotta use the jukebox. You gotta order around in between every one.
Mhm.
There's a reason that one of the thumbsticks, if you're playing on a controller, is just the cheers button.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's just good. It's just good, silly fun, and it's just deserves your time if you have friends. Yeah, I will say that caveat. I think it's your mileage may vary if you're by yourself, but like even if you have like one or two buddies who will play it with you, it's so good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
even as a duo, I'd say it's worth it.
Yeah. Definitely. Having played several missions, like split across 5. Like even the duos were having fun and able to think through the puzzles and stuff. Yeah. Yeah, I completely agree with everything that people have said. I think it's one of the strongest, uh, friendly, player forward, co-op games that you could be playing right now. Mission variety is great. All the characters are super well designed. Everything is fun and over the top and zany and just worthy of putting some time into to just kind of enjoy the world and the characters and the gameplay. Yeah, and there's it's deep enough that we didn't even not many of us have experienced kind of that late game stuff or prestiging, if that's a thing. Like
It is.
yeah, like that just blows my mind, and some of the late game perks just get crazy and wild. So definitely worth investing a lot of time if you've got a couple of friends to play through it with. But yeah, that about wraps us up on Deep Rock. I mean, we're definitely not done with the game, but
No.
glad to have played it throughout the month and gotten some good time, gotten some good time in, and consolidated all of us onto a single platform,
Yes.
which is definitely definitely nice and yeah, something that we had frustrations with prior. But as always, want to thank you guys for sitting down and talking Deep Rock with me.
Yeah.
Of
Thanks.
course, thanks for
course.
having us.
Yeah.
Yeah. Great. And I'll sign us off. So, thanks as always for watching, viewers. I hope you enjoy this content. If you do, follow, like, and subscribe to me on YouTube and Twitch. See more great content like this. I'll have links down below in the description. Thanks again. I hope you have a super day. I hope you have a super month. And I hope you have a super day. Bye.